Let me ask you a very honest question. You've been working in IT for what, 3 years, 5 years, maybe 10? You're probably using AI every single day to get your work done. But are you actually using the right one?
See, most IT professionals are firing up ChatGPT every morning, and they genuinely believe that puts them ahead of the curve. But my friend, you're really not even close. Because while the vast majority are stuck running basic prompts, the top performers at places like Accenture, Wipro, Infosys, and TCS, they've quietly moved on. And the gap between them and everyone else is just growing wider every single month.
The tool those top-tier pros are quietly using, the one that actually handles real, complex, enterprise-grade work, is not ChatGPT. It's Claude, and honestly, most professionals haven't even scratched the surface of what it can actually do. So today, we're going to change that. I'm Srikanchan Bhowmik, India's #1 AI corporate trainer verified by Google and the founder of AIskillace. I've trained teams across IITs, IIMs, DRDO, and Fortune 500 companies. And in this quick 10-minute explainer, I'm going to take you from absolute beginner to pro using my exact playbook.
So, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to cover the Claude advantage, master the basics, dive into prompt engineering secrets, explore projects and artifacts, look at complete workflow integration, and wrap up with your specific action plan. Let's just dive right in.
All right, Section 1, the Claude advantage, moving beyond basic chat.
First things first, let's clear something up. Claude is absolutely not a ChatGPT clone. It's not just some competitor. It's an entirely different category of AI. It's built specifically for the kind of deep, complex, high-stakes work that you do in IT every day. 3 things really set it apart. First, it has this enormous context window. Second, it's privacy-first architecture. This means it's true enterprise grade. Your proprietary data never trains their core model. And third, extended thinking. Claude breaks down complex problems step by step, analyzing architecture exactly the way a senior tech lead would.
Now going back to that context window for a second. 200,000 tokens. What does that actually mean for your daily grind? Well, it means you can literally upload an entire massive code base in one go. You don't have to spoon-feed it piece by piece. It can swallow your entire system architecture document whole and instantly understand how every single part interacts.
But here is the absolute biggest difference, the real game changer. Claude has 3 specific features that ChatGPT simply cannot match: projects, artifacts, and MCP tools. Together, these 3 completely transform how you work. This is where we leave basic chat in the dust. Frankly, if you aren't using these 3 features, you're only using Claude at maybe 10% of its actual power.
Okay, moving to Section 2, mastering the basics and setting yourself up for success.
Setting up takes exactly 60 seconds. Go to claude.ai, sign in with Google, and boom, you're in. The free plan is a great starting point. But listen, if you're a serious IT professional, I highly recommend upgrading to Claude Pro. Yeah, it's about 1,700 rupees a month. But look at it this way. If it helps you handle one major escalation call in 10 seconds instead of 20 agonizing minutes, well, it just paid for the whole month. Plus, most companies will reimburse you if you just ask. Now, once you're in, do this immediately. Go to Settings, hit Profile, and tell Claude exactly who you are. Do not skip this. Paste in a paragraph like the one we're looking at here. When you define your role, your domain, and your preferred output format, Claude automatically calibrates to your technical level. You'll never have to explain the basics every single time you start a new chat again.
Next, try this. Take a real document from your current project, maybe a business requirement specification, an FSD, or a PRD. Upload it and ask Claude to spot edge cases, technical risks, and missing requirements. Out in the real world, that analysis takes a senior BA easily 2 to 3 hours. Claude, it'll do it in 8 seconds. 8 seconds! That is the kind of massive leverage we're talking about here.
To really harness this power, you've got to understand how Claude operates. It basically runs in 3 distinct modes. Chat is your go-to for fast answers and quick emails. Artifacts is where it actually builds things for you. Dashboards, code files, HTML layouts. And Projects is your persistent memory workspace for ongoing, long-term work. It's all about knowing exactly which tool to pull out and when.
Which brings us to Section 3, prompt engineering secrets, the IT professional's absolute secret weapon.
I have to talk about this, because most people fail with AI for one very simple reason. They treat it like a basic Google search. That's the core issue. The quality of what Claude hands back to you is directly tied to the intelligence of what you feed it. Just look at this stark contrast. A basic prompt just asks for a Python script. Simple, right?
but a master prompt. It establishes the role, the exact scale, like using pandas chunking for 1,000,000 rows, and it sets strict enterprise constraints like error handling and type hits. It is literally the exact same AI, but you get a wildly different output. The magic is entirely in how you ask.
So what's the actual secret? It's a formula. Use this formula every single time. Whether you're writing code, fixing a pesky bug, or drafting a tricky client email, the structure is always the same. Role plus task plus constraints plus output format. I'd highly recommend you pause this explainer right now and grab a screenshot of this god. Trust me, you'll thank me later.
All right, Section 4, Projects and Artifacts. This is how you build your own AI team.
Let's kick off with projects. This is the feature most people completely ignore, but it's honestly the most powerful thing Claude does. A project is basically a dedicated workspace with persistent memory. You load it up with your coding standards, your specific Jira workflow rules, your team's exact tech stack, and Claude remembers all of it across every single conversation you have inside that project. Let me give you a real-world example. I built a project called the Sprint Planning Assistant. I fed it our retrospectives from the last sprint, our current team capacity, and our upcoming goals. Then I asked for a detailed sprint plan for next week. Claude spit out a perfectly structured Jira-ready plan in 90 seconds. That literally eliminated a grueling 45-minute planning meeting. Why? Because it actually understood the specific context of my team.
And then there are artifacts. Man, this is my absolute favorite feature. This is where Claude graduates from just spitting out text to actually building real products. Artifacts mean Claude builds usable, tangible outputs right there inside the chat interface. You just describe what you want, and Claude delivers a finished, ready-to-use output, and you don't have to write a single line of code. Instead of bleeding hours manually coding, debugging, and checking syntax, artifacts let you just paste in some raw data and instantly generate an interactive dashboard. Or you can ask it for production-quality API documentation in Markdown and get it in 15 seconds. Even if you're a business analyst or QA, you can ask for a full comprehensive test case template. Zero coding required from you. Claude understands your domain and just builds it. Moving on to Section 5. Complete workflow integration with MCP tools. Okay, this right here is Claude's hidden superpower, MCP, or Model Context Protocol. In plain English, MCP connects Claude directly into the enterprise apps you use every day, so the AI can actually take action. Just look at the insane scope of what you can automate. Gmail to draft and shoot off replies. Google Calendar to schedule your meetings. Google Drive to summarize massive documents before you even hop on a call. GitHub to review pull requests. Jira and Confluence to create tickets and update your docs. Guys, this isn't just an AI assistant anymore. This is AI actually doing the work for you.
Imagine this scenario. A client sends a furious escalation email about a delayed delivery. Panic time, right? Well, you just forward it to Claude via the Gmail MCP with this exact prompt. Draft a professional response. Acknowledge the delay with empathy. Provide a revised timeline. Reassure them about quality controls. Keep the relationship intact. Now, if you wrote that yourself, you'd probably rewrite it 3 times over 20 minutes just trying to nail the tone. Claude? It drafts a flawless, incredibly empathetic response in 10 seconds flat.
Finally, Section 6, your action plan. Moving from Group 1 over to Group 2.
So every single person watching this explainer is going to fall into one of 2 groups. Group 1 will say, that was pretty interesting. Close the tab and go right back to working exactly the same way they were yesterday. But if you want to be in Group 2, the top performers, here is your exact structured path forward. First, today. Create your free Claude.ai account and set up just one project for whatever your current assignment is. Second, this week, connect your Gmail or calendar using MCP and build your very first artifact. Third, this month, make Claude a seamless everyday part of your daily workflow, not just some occasional fun experiment.
Now, if you want to go deeper, if you want structured live training, real-world projects, real certification, and hard enterprise skills, join AIskillace. We're India's #1 agentic AI training program. You can check out AIskillace.com or just WhatsApp me directly at 7353-626-135. I'm Srikanchan Bhowmik, and I can't wait to see you inside. But before you go, I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Over the next 2 years, AI is not going to replace IT professionals, but IT professionals who use Claude, they are absolutely going to replace the ones who don't. So, which side of that equation are you going to be on?